Because we done see. That's what it is, man.
I gotta get it. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 5. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord, thy God, am a jealous God.
So therefore, we're not supposed to bow down ourselves to what? To other people, to other so-called gods. You understand? We're supposed to bow down ourselves to who? The Most High. That's who we're supposed to serve. Right?
Visiting the iniquity of the fathers unto the children, unto the third and fourth generations.
Because what happened back then? Remember, we was bowed down to these other gods. You understand? The one where we was bowed down to the golden calf and stuff like that. That's what we did. We make them onto molten gods. Them gold gods and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? That's what we did when we wasn't supposed to do that. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to serve him. You know what I'm saying? He is the living power.
Pay dearly for that.
Yeah, right?
Visiting the iniquity of the fathers.
It said iniquity, iniquity. Now what's iniquity? Iniquity, meaning what we sin, right?
Of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me.
So therefore, a lot of people, they hated the Most High back then because look at what they did. You understand? They disobeyed the Most High because every time that we was in how you call it? We was up there ruling, right? We disobeyed the Most High and went to the left, and then He brought us back down. Another nation ruled. So every time He brought us out from captivity and we went to ruling, we went back down again because we disobeyed the Most High. You see, our people, they like to learn things the hard way. You ever hear the term when they say either you can learn the easy way or the hard way? That's what happens because we like to learn things the hard way. Like now, when we in slavery, we learning things the hard way now.
Right.
You understand? Because a lot of people don't want to do right. They want to be wicked.
Right.
And they love being wicked. And they think it's okay to be wicked, but it's not. You understand? When you're wicked, you know what I'm saying, you could ruin your reputation like that onto the Most High. Not onto the people.
Ruin your soul.
Correct. You ruin everything. You ruin all that. Yeah, read.
That's it.
That's it? Yeah. Yeah, read something. Yeah, so our people, they have to come back to the Most High. That's the only way.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 63. And it shall come to pass that as the Most High rejoiced over you to do you good and to multiply you, so the Most High will rejoice over you to destroy you and bring you to naught. And ye shall be plucked from off the land whither thou goest to possess it.
Right.
Verse 63. And it shall come to pass that as the Most
It
High,
shall come to pass, I mean, it should happen, right?
that as the Most High rejoiced over you to do you good,
That the Most High rejoices for us to do good. So Most High rejoice when we're doing good, right?
and to multiply you,
And to multiply you, meaning as we multiply on the earth, right?
so the Most High will rejoice over you,
So the Most High will rejoice over you, meaning He'll rejoice over us, the 12 tribes of Israel, right?
to destroy you,
To destroy you, right?
and to bring you to naught.
To bring you to naught. So He's gonna bring us down to nothing, right?
And ye shall be plucked from off the land whither thou goest to possess it.
Right. See, that's how the Most High is getting down. Go to, what's the name? Deuteronomy 7, 6. Where we left off. Yeah, see, our people just gotta repent, man. That's it. But we have to acknowledge the Most High. We have to acknowledge the Most High, and then we gotta acknowledge our offenses against the Most High. That's what we have to do. Once you understand how the Most High operates, you're gonna be good. But also you have to do good. But how do you do good? By keeping the law, the statutes, the commandments of the Heavenly Father.
Right.
That's how you do good. And you got to know what is sin. A lot of us don't even know what is sin. Right? Get that. What is sin? Got it. Yeah, go get that. Go to Deuteronomy. Yeah, read left off.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6.
Right.
For thou art a holy people.
It said, for thou are what?
Are a holy people.
So for thou art a holy people, for thou art a true and holy people. Meaning righteous people of the Most High. Read.
Unto the Lord thy God.
Unto the what?
Unto the Lord thy God.
Unto the Lord thy God. Read.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because ye were more in number than any people. For ye were the fewest of all people. But because the Lord loved you, and because he will keep his oath which he has sworn unto your fathers, hath the Lord brought you out with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen, from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. Know therefore that the Lord thy God, he is God, the faithful God.
Say he is God, the faithful God. Read.
Which keepeth covenant and mercy with them that love him.
So he's going to keep covenant and mercy for them that love him. So therefore he's going to choose. He's going to choose mercy to them that love him, that love the Most High. Read.
And keep his commandments.
And keep what?
And keep his commandments.
And keep his commandments. So a lot of us have to keep his commandments. Read.
To 1,000 generations.
To 1,000 generations. Read.
And repayeth them that hate him to their face.
Read.
To destroy them. He will not be slack to him that hateth him.
Right.
He will repay him to his face.
He said he'll repay them to his face. Read on.
Thou shalt therefore keep the commandments.
So therefore thou shalt keep the commandments.
And the statutes.
And the what? And the statutes. Read.
And the judgments.
And the judgments. So therefore, guess what? We can't judge according to the Bible.
Right.
You read?
Right.
Which I command thee this day.
Which I command thee this day. Read.
To do them.
To do what?
To do them.
To do them. It didn't say to break them. It said to do them. Read on.
Wherefore it shall come to pass, if ye hearken to these judgments.
So wherefore it shall hearken to what?
Hearken to these judgments.
Meaning listen to these judgments, read.
And keep and do them.
And keep it what?
And keep and do them.
And keep and do them, read on.
That the Lord thy God shall keep unto thee the covenant and the mercy which he swore unto thy fathers.
Right, so he's going to keep the covenant of what he made to our forefathers. Look it out. Now what? We're going to get to the kingdom of heaven. That the kingdom of heaven is for us. That the Messiah is coming back and he's going to be ruling over us. He's going to be our king. And we're going to be over the other nations. And they're going to be our servants and handmaids. Read.
Right.
And he will love thee and bless thee.
And he will love thee and what?
He will love thee and bless thee.
He will love thee and bless thee. Read.
And multiply thee.
And multiply thee. Therefore, we're going to be coming more on the earth. Read.
Right.
He will also bless the fruit of thy womb.
He will also bless the fruit of thy womb. So he's going to bless a lot of his women to have children.
Right.
Meaning a lot of children, right?
And the fruit of thy land.
And the fruit of thy land. So therefore, we're going to get a lot of fruit in our land. Meaning a lot of fruits and food, right?
Thy corn and thy wine.
Thy corn and thy wine. So therefore, we're going to have a lot of corn and a lot of wine, right?
And thy oil.
And thy oil. So we're going to have a lot of oil, right?
The increase of thy kind.
The increase of that kind, right?
And the flocks of thy sheep.
And the flocks of the sheep, meaning we're going to have a lot of animals, right?
In the land which he swore unto thy fathers.
In the land which he what?
Unto the land which he swore unto thy fathers.
That's the key word. In the land where he swore to our forefathers. So therefore, he was telling our forefathers that we're going to get into what? Our land, Jerusalem. Okay, read.
To give thee Thou shalt be blessed above all people.
Thou shalt be what?
Thou shalt be blessed above all people.
Wow, check that out. That gonna be blessed above all people. That means we're gonna be blessed above the other nations. That's gonna be right there with us.
That's right.
Get out.
You understand? The other nations, they will be with us, but guess what? They're gonna be under us. Not equal to us. Read.
There should not be male or female barren among you, or among your cattle.
Read.
And the Lord will take away from thee all sickness.
So therefore, when we get back to our homeland, we will not be getting sick the way we get sick now. Okay, read.
And will put none of the evil diseases of Egypt.
So therefore, all the diseases in Egypt, we're not going to get those diseases when the time comes when we get to the kingdom of heaven. Okay, read.
Which thou knowest.
Which thou knowest, because we knew all those diseases back then in the time of Egypt, read.
Upon thee, but will lay them upon all them that hate thee.
So therefore, he's going to set up all his diseases upon them that hate the Most High. Read.
And thou shalt consume all the people which the Lord thy God shall deliver thee.
Right.
Right. Read.
That I shall have no pity upon them.
So therefore, the Most High is going to be killing a lot of his people. You understand? Because they don't want to do right. Read.
Neither shalt thou serve their gods.
Neither shall what?
Neither shalt thou serve their gods.
So therefore, we ain't going to be serving these other nations' gods, because we're going to be serving our true and living power.
That's
Read.
right. For thou wilt be a snare unto thee.
Read on.
If thou shalt say in thy heart, these nations are more than I,
Read.
how can I dispossess them?
Right.
Thou shalt not be afraid of them.
So therefore, when the time comes, we're not going to be afraid of the other nations. You understand? Because by that time, we're going to be what? We're going to be over them, number one. And number two, they're going to be under us. So why are we going to be afraid? We're going to have everything. And our Messiah is going to be back. He's going to be with us. He's going to be over us. And we're going to be ruling in righteousness.
Right.
Can I read?
But shalt thou remember what the Lord thy God did unto Pharaoh and unto all Egypt.
So therefore, we're going to remember what the Most High did unto Pharaoh and what?
And all Egypt.
And all Egypt. Meaning, what he did unto Pharaoh's kid, and what he did, he brought those plagues in Egypt.
Right.
So we're going to remember all that. Read.
The great temptations which thine eyes saw, and the signs, and the wonders, and the mighty hand, and the stretched out arm, whereby the Lord thy God brought thee out. So shall the Lord thy God do unto all the people of whom thou art afraid. Moreover, the Lord thy God will send the hornet among them, until they are left and hide themselves from thee, be destroyed. Thou shalt not be affrighted at them, for the Lord thy God is among you.
So therefore, we're not going to be afraid of the other nations, because the Most High is going to be with us. The Most High is going to be protecting us, because why? We're going to be in our kingdom. The Most High is going to be with us, so we're going to have nothing to be afraid of. We're going to have new everything, new bodies, all that stuff. You understand? We're going to get to the kingdom of heaven, and it's going to be beautiful. We ain't going to be in America no more. This place is going to be destroyed. Some of us is going to live to talk about it. And we're going to say, you remember when we was teaching on 42nd Street? We're going to talk about stuff like that. You remember we was arguing with these two Edomites on the side? We're going to talk about stuff like that. See, all the stuff, we're going to go back into memory lane. You understand? We're going to talk about things like that. Okay, go to the second.
The book of 1 John.
Okay.
The book of 1 John, chapter 3, verse 4. Whosoever
said, whosoever committed sin, read,
transgresseth also the law.
transgressing also the law. You understand? That's sin right there. When you transgress against the law, meaning breaking of the law. That's what sin is, right?
For sin is the transgression of the law.
It says sin is the transgression of the law. Meaning of when you're breaking the law. That's what sin is. You know, you got more. That's it. But that's it? Yeah, we'll go back to that.
And the Lord thy God will put out those nations before thee by little and little. And the Lord thy God will put out those nations.
So the Most High says, the Lord thy God will pull out what?
Will pull out those nations.
Will pull out those nations. So he's going to take care of all those other nations for you. Read.
Before thee by little and little.
It said little and little. Read.
Thou mayest not consume them at once. Least
It said thou may not consume them at once. Read on.
Lest the beasts of the field increase upon them.
Read on.
But the Lord thy God shall deliver them unto thee,
Read.
and shall destroy them with a mighty destruction until they be destroyed.
Right. Read on.
And he shall deliver their kings into thy hand.
Yeah, read. Read up on them.
And he shall deliver thy kings into thy hand.
And he shall deliver the king into thy hand. Read.
And thou shalt destroy their name from under heaven.
Read.
There shall no man be able to stand before thee until thou have destroyed them.
Read on.
The graven images of their gods shall ye burn with fire.
Read on.
Thou shalt not desire the silver or gold that is on them,
Right.
nor take it unto thee, lest thou be snared therein. For it is an abomination to the Lord thy God. Neither shall bring an abomination into thy house.
So therefore, we're not going to bring abomination to our houses. We're not going to do that. Because by that time, we're going to be knowing the law. Read.
Lest thou be a cursed thing like it.
Read up on them.
Lest thou be a cursed thing like it.
Lest there be a cursed thing like this. Read.
But thou shalt utterly detest it,
Read on.
and thou shalt utterly abhor it, for it is a cursed thing.
Read on. 5:15. Hosea.
The book of Hosea, chapter 5, verse 15. I will go and return to my place.
It said, I will go and return to my place. Now, what's my place? What's this?
Till they acknowledge their offense.
Till they acknowledge their offense. Now, what's their offense? Meaning sins. Read.
And seek my face.
And seek my face. Meaning seek the Most High's way. Read.
In their affliction.
In their affliction, when they go through something, read.
They will seek me early.
He said they will seek me what? Early. So they will seek the Most High early. That's it. So they will seek the Most High early. That's what makes a man and a woman want to change when they go in through affliction. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Because when they go through something, that's what makes people want to change. That's why sometimes when we out here sometimes, or sometimes if we're in a bar, or we just talking amongst brothers going over scriptures, sometimes you might have somebody walk up on us and say, well, brother, I'm going through something, or why is this happening? And then we got to give them the answers. You understand? We got to give them the answers because we were just like them. You know what I'm saying? Because we was being afflicted. Because remember, all of us was born in sin. And when we're born in sin, you don't know no better. But now, when you know better, you try to do better. You understand? Then, you decide to make a decision whether I'm going to do right or I'm going to do wrong. That's up to you. It is not up to anybody else. You got to read? Yeah, read again.
The book of Psalms, chapter 119, verse 59. I thought on my ways.
It said, I thought on my ways. So a lot of people, they think on their ways. Meaning they think it in their mind, right?
And turned my feet onto thy testimonies.
And turned their feet onto what? My testimonies. Meaning what they gone through, read on.
Verse 60, I made haste and delayed not to keep thy commandments.
He said, I made what?
I made haste.
I made haste, meaning a quick decision, read.
And delayed not.
And delayed not to do what?
To keep thy commandments.
To keep thy commandments. You understand? Read on. Good. Yeah, bring it up.
Book of Proverbs, chapter 28, verse 9. He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be an abomination.
I like that one. Start over again.
Book of Proverbs, chapter 28, verse 9. He that turneth away his ear.
Oh, it said, he that turneth away his ear, meaning he that turneth himself, read.
From hearing the law.
From what?
From hearing the law.
From hearing the law. From hearing the law, statutes, the commandments of the Heavenly Father. Read.
Even his prayer shall be.
Even his prayer shall be what?
An abomination.
An abomination. That's how that's going down. Because why? You don't want to do right. So if you don't want to do right, why would the Most High want to hear your prayers? Does that make any sense? No, it does not. Like I said, you have to do right, so therefore the Most High can hear you. Yeah, give me a second. Yeah. You have to do right, so therefore the Most High can hear you and can answer your prayers. But by not doing right, by not doing the will of the Most High, nothing is going to be answered.
Right.
Okay, read.
Book of St. John, chapter 9, verse 31. Now that we know that God heareth not sinners.
It said, therefore what?
Therefore we know. Now we know that God heareth not sinners.
So therefore the Most High, he does not hear it sinners. He does not hear it somebody that breaks the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Heavenly Father. Read.
But if any man be a worshiper of God,
if any man be a worshiper of the Most High, that say that he worshiping the Most High, you know,
he doeth his will.
He doeth his will, meaning he doeth the Most High's will. Read.
Him here, so like him here, he is. So like him, he here.
That's it? Yeah, go ahead now.
1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 1. Dare any of you having a matter against another?
He said, here the what?
Here, dare any of you having a matter against another?
So therefore, if you have a matter against somebody else, read.
Go to the law before the unjust.
He said, go to the law before the unjust. Meaning you have to go to the Most High before the unjust. Read.
And not before the saints.
And not before the saints. Read.
Do you not know that the saints shall judge the world?
He said, do you not know that the saints shall judge the world? That's a question right there. Do you not know that the saints shall judge the world? Because think about it, we're going to be judging the world. You understand? It's no difference when you go to court.
Right.
When you watch it, Judge Faith, Judge Judy, Judge Mathis, paternity court, don't they judge you? Don't they have what's that, a plaintiff, and what's the other one? The plaintiff and the defendant? Because why? He have to hear both of the matters, and therefore that judge can judge righteously according to the law. That's how they judge you according to the law. That's what we're going to do. So therefore, any of our people that become a homosexual, we're going to judge you according to the law.
That's right.
If you're not wearing the blue borders and the fringes and everything, we're going to judge you according to the law. If you don't want to keep Passover, we're going to judge you according to the law. If you try to murder your people, we're going to judge you according to the law. If you want to eat pork, we're going to judge you according to the law. So whatever you do against the Most High, we're going to judge you according to the law. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to do it righteousness because why? We know the law, and the law is in our hearts. When I say the law is in our hearts, meaning it's going to be in our mind.
That's right.
Okay, read.
And if the world shall be judged by you,
And therefore, if the world shall be judged by you, if the world shall be judged by our people, read.
are you unworthy to judge the smallest matter?
You know, are you unworthy? Are you not worthy to judge the smallest matters? That's the question it's asking you. This is why you have to know this stuff. You have to study this stuff. So when people come up to you, you can smash them with the word of the Most High.
Right.
Go to study to show that stuff. What's that in Timothy? What's that? Let's get that. Let's get that. You understand? Our people have to study. We study this. This is our life right here. You don't see what brothers and sisters, they put scriptures all over Facebook and stuff like that? Because they study. They try to get to the kingdom. That's what we try to get to. We try to get to the kingdom of heaven. Ain't no guarantee that we're going to get there. But guess what? We try to get there if it be the will of the Most High. Got it?
Book of 1 Timothy, chapter 2, verse 15. Notwithstanding,
see, our people, they have to recognize the real. You understand? They have to recognize the real and they have to do right according to the Most High. And our people got to stop being caught up in all this folly that's walking around us. You understand? Got it?
book of 2 Timothy, chapter 2, verse 15. Study to show thyself approved unto God.
It says study what?
Study to show
It
thyself.
says study to show thyself. So you're supposed to study to show yourself what?
Approved unto God.
Approved unto the Most High. That's it. That can be.
A workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth.
So therefore, you're not going to be ashamed because why? You know the stuff already. Because you know this, and it's going to be what? It's going to be in your mind. And you're going to be quoting scriptures back and forth. You're going to be quoting the law and everything. That's what you're going to be doing. That's what we have to do. Okay, read. That was it? Yeah, get out.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 28. The heart of the righteous studieth to answer.
It's at the heart of the what?
The heart of the righteous.
It's at the heart of the righteous. Now, who are the righteous? Our people. The so-called blacks and Hispanics, Native and Seminole Indians. Okay, read.
Studieth to answer.
Study up to answer. So therefore, we study the what? To answer our people.
Right.
Whether it's our people or even other nations, we study it to show ourselves. So therefore, we can bring the answers to what? Our people and the other nations. That we know this book, man. Okay, read.
But the mouth of the wicked
It said, but the mouth of the wicked, meaning other nations, read,
poureth out evil things.
pouring out evil things. That's the other nations. They pour out evil things because they are wicked people. They are not righteous people. They are not of the Most High. They are the Most High's creation, but not the Most High's people. Do you get it? I hope you got it. Okay, read. Somebody read something again.
Proverbs chapter 30, verse 5. Every word of God is pure.
It said every word of God is what?
Is pure.
Is pure, meaning it's true. Every word of God is true, but what?
Every word of God is pure. He is a shield unto them that put their trust in him.
He's a shield unto them that put trust in him. So therefore, he is our protector that trusts in the Most High. That's what it's saying. That's all it's going into. Okay, read.
Add thou not unto his word.
He said, do what?
Add thou not.
It said, add thou not. Meaning don't add. Do not do it, read.
Unto his word.
Unto his word. So whatever the word says, do not add to his word, read.
Lest he rebuke thee, and thou be found a liar.
Lest thou reprove thee, and therefore you'll be a liar. Because you're not supposed to be adding to the word. That's what a lot of people do. Like the Old Testament haters.
Get out.
So I'm really sick of you guys. You guys are getting on my nerves. Because you bear false witness, right? And you said we worshiping the Messiah. We don't worship the Messiah, okay? We acknowledge the Messiah. We acknowledge him as being our king. That's what we're doing. And y'all bear false witness. If I was you, I think y'all should repent. That's what I think. Because that's a sin right there. Every chance y'all get, y'all just cracking on us left and right. And y'all think it's funny. I don't see nothing funny, really. You know what I'm saying? Because that's wicked as hell. It's one thing if you don't believe in the New Testament. Okay, fine. All right, that's cool. But it's another thing when you said we worshiping the Messiah. That's off as hell. Because we don't worship the Messiah, we acknowledge him as being our king. Matter of fact, let's go into the Messiah. Let's go into let's go into Revelation. Let's go to 1. Let's talk about the Messiah right now. Since y'all don't want to hear about the Messiah, Revelation 1, and let's get for his evidence our Lord spring out of Judah. Let's get that too. Since y'all don't want to hear about the Messiah, we're gonna talk about the Messiah.
The book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 1.
Oh yeah.
The revelation of Jesus Christ.
He said the revelation of what?
Of Jesus Christ.
The revelation of Jesus Christ.
Which God made.
Wait, who the world ignorant chose Jesus Christ? Meaning the Messiah right there. Read.
Which God gave unto him to show unto his servants things which must come shortly to pass. And he sent and signified it by his angels unto the servants John.
Take it back. Start up again.
The book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 1. Revelation of the book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 1. Revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave.
Revelation. Listen, revelation to make known to the scribe. So therefore, we're going to describe the Messiah. That's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about the Messiah. Since you don't want to hear about the Messiah, or who you talk about some JC. Read.
To show unto his servants.
Read.
Things which must shortly come to pass.
Things which what?
Must shortly come to pass.
Must shortly come to pass. Read.
And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John.
Read on.
Who bare record of the word of God.
So he's going to show his record onto what? Onto John. You understand? That's what's going on. Read.
And of the testimony of Jesus Christ.
And the testimony of Jesus Christ, who we don't like, but his name is not Jesus Christ, is what? It's Yahweh. Read.
And of all things that he saw.
And of all things that he saw. So all things that what John saw. Read.
Blessed is he that readeth.
It said, blessed is he that readeth. Read.
And they that hear the word.
And they that heareth the word. So you read the word and you hear the word. Read.
Of this prophecy.
Of this prophecy. Meaning things that's supposed to come to pass. Read.
And keep those things which are written therein.
And keep those things that are written therein. Where those things written in the book of life.
Right.
In the Bible.
Right.
In the New Testament for what you do not like. Read.
For the time is at hand.
For the time is at hand. Read.
John to the 7 churches in Asia, grace be unto you and peace from him which is, and which was, and which is to come, and from the 7 spirits which are before his throne.
Read.
And from Jesus Christ, who is faithful, who is the faithful witness, and the first begotten of the dead, and the prince of the kings of the earth, unto him that loved us and washed us from our sins in with clouds. And
Therefore he cometh what?
with clouds.
Therefore he cometh with clouds. The Messiah is coming with clouds and what?
And with every eye.
And with what?
And with every eye.
Every eye, even you Old Testament lovers,
Right.
Shall see him.
Every eye shall what?
Shall see him.
Shall see him. Even your Old Testament lovers are going to what? You're going to see him. Read.
And they also which pierced him.
And they also which pierced him, meaning the enemies, the Romans, which pierced him. Read.
And all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Ever so. Amen.
Read on.
I am the Alpha and Omega.
So Yahushua, you know, we talk about some JC, talk about he is Alpha and Omega, the first and the last. Read on.
The beginning and the ending.
The what?
The beginning and the ending.
The beginning and the ending. So therefore, he was with the Most High back then, and guess what? He's going to be with the Most High at the end. You understand? Read.
Said the Lord, which is, and which was, and which is to come, the Almighty.
Read.
I, John, also, I, John, who also am your brother
He said, I shall also am your brother. Read.
and companion in tribulation,
Read.
and in the kingdom and patience of Jesus Christ.
In the patience of what?
Jesus Christ
Of Jesus Christ, who the word English called Jesus Christ. Read.
was in the isle that is called Patmos,
Read.
for the word of God and of the testimony of Jesus Christ. I was in the
So
spirit.
here's the testimony of what? Jesus Christ. You understand? The Messiah. Read.
I was in the spirit of the Lord's day,
Said, I was in the spirit on the Lord's day, meaning on the Sabbath day. Read.
and heard behind me a great voice,
And heard behind me a great voice. So therefore, John heard him, a great voice behind him. Read.
as of a trumpet,
As of a trumpet. So he heard something so loud that it sounded like a trumpet. Read.
saying, I am the Alpha and Omega,
Saying, I am Alpha and Omega. Read.
the first and the last.
The first and the last. The Messiah. He's the first and the last. Who your Old Testament haters keep talking about, JC. Jesus Christ. Read.
And what thou seest,
And what thou seest, meaning what you shall see. Read.
written in a book,
Written in a book. Read.
and sent unto the seven churches
And sent unto the seven churches in Asia Minor. Read.
which are in Asia, unto
Again.
Rufus and Samora, and unto Pergamos, and unto the arteries.
Skip that. Yeah.
And I will turn to see the voice that speak unto me.
So therefore, John said he turned to see the voice that spake with him. Read.
And I saw 7 golden candlesticks.
And he saw, John said he saw 7 golden candlesticks. Read.
And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks,
In the midst of the 7 candlesticks. Read.
one like unto the Son of
It
Man,
said one like unto what?
the Son of Man,
One like unto the Son of Man. Read.
clothed with a garment down to the foot,
He said clothed with a garment down to the foot. So the Messiah, he had a garment down to the foot, like we're wearing now. So let me ask you something. Do spirits wear garments? Huh? Old Testament haters. Do Old Testament lovers, not haters. Old Testament lovers. Do spirits wear garments? Oh, they don't. Okay. Read.
and girt about the paps with a golden girdle.
And girt upon the path with a golden girdle. Yeah, read.
His hair, so like his head and his hair were like white wool.
Yeah, read up on one. Read up to one verse. Yeah, yes.
And I turned to see the voice that spake unto me.
So the Messiah, so John said he turned to the voice and said what?
That speak unto me, and being turned, I saw 7 golden candlesticks.
John said he turned and saw 7 golden candlesticks. Read.
In the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man,
And read.
clothed with a girdle, clothed with the garment down to the foot.
Is a cloak with a garment down to the foot. So therefore the Messiah, he had a garment down to the foot.
Right.
Read.
A girt about paps with a golden girdle.
And girt upon the paps with a golden girdle. So therefore, the Messiah, he had a solid gold girdle. A girdle is worn around your waist. Just in case, if you Old Testament lovers don't know. Read.
His head and his hair were like white like wool. His head and his hair were white like wool.
His head and his hairs were white like wool, meaning woolly textured hair, right?
As white as snow.
As white as snow, meaning gray, right?
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
And the Messiah's eyes, who you talking about some JC, right?
Were like a flame of fire.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire, right?
And his feet like unto fine brass.
And his feet like unto fine. We don't put up his eyes was what?
His eyes were as a flame of fire.
His eyes were the flame of fire because he had to deal with the same nonsense back then with your Old Testament lovers.
Right.
Because you try to say he's nobody. He didn't exist. He had to deal with knuckleheads like you. You see, this is the problem. This is the problem we got. You used to read the whole book, now you read half the book. The best thing is go back into the world. That's all. You're halfway there. You're halfway there already.
Second base.
You read, let's start this over. You read it from Genesis, right? The Bible, Genesis to Revelation, right? Now, you're saying that Messiah didn't exist, so now you're just dealing with the Old Testament. You're going backwards. So since you're going backwards, just go back into the world, man.
Bring it out, bring it out, bring it out, man.
That's the best thing for it, because you're halfway there already.
Second base.
It's almost like saying knowing is half the battle. You understand? Just go back into the world. You'll be all right. You make a mockery anyway. You make a fun of the Messiah anyway.
Right.
A lot of you don't really, me personally, I think a lot of you really don't believe in this Bible here. I think a lot of you really don't believe in this Bible right here. Because a lot of you like to make mockery. Yeah, right?
Verse 15, his feet were like unto fine brass.
And his feet like what?
Unto fine brass.
And his feet like unto fine brass. Meaning, what's the color of brass? Brown. It was a brown color, not brownish. It was brown. The color of brass is brown. It's a brown color.
Right.
You understand? It's a brown color. So therefore, the Messiah, he was a man of color. Okay, read.
As if they burnt in a furnace.
As if they burned in a furnace. So he looked so dark, it looked like if he was burned in a furnace. So therefore, the Messiah was a what? A brown-skinned man. He was a brother. You understand? He was from the nation of Israel.
Right.
And guess what? He was from one of the 12 tribes. Let's get that.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 7, verse 14.
Yeah.
For it is evident that
For it's evident. So it's a fact, right?
that our Lord,
That our Lord, right?
sprang out of Judah.
Sprang out of Judah. So the Messiah, he came from the line of Judah. He came from the tribe of Judah, the top tribe. Read.
Of which tribe Moses spake nothing concerning priesthood.
Right.
Of which tribe Moses concerned nothing of priesthood, because why? The Messiah, he taught throughout the whole earth. He taught throughout the whole world. He was confounding people older than him because he had the knowledge and wisdom. You understand? On the Most High. He had to deal with knuckleheads like your Old Testament. Your Old Testament lovers. That's what he did. But all you do is make a mockery. Go to the pub, the bombing pub. The bombing? You talking about the bombing? You know the bombing? Yeah, let's go to that. Yeah, that's for them. Yeah, that's for them. Yeah, for the Old Testament lovers. But you have to understand something. The Messiah is real.
They were like,
And when he come back, everybody going to see him. Our enemies and even our people is going to see the Messiah. He has to make a second return. It's because the Most High said so, that's number one. And number two, because it has to fulfill prophecy.
Bring it out.
That's how that's going down.
Right.
You got that?
You got it.
Yeah, let's get the bomb. Yeah, that's them, yeah.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 26, verse 11.
Right, and this is in the Old Testament. Read this.
As a dog
As an animal, a dog, read.
returneth to his vomit,
Dog returning to what?
his vomit,
His vomit. That's the Old Testament. Old Testament lovers, read.
so a fool
So a fool, you Old Testament lovers, read.
returneth to his folly.
Returning to his folly because you're making mockery. That's what you're doing. You're making mockery of the Most High Son. You're making mockery of the Messiah. You got to read? There's more? Oh, he got a precept. Oh, you got a precept out? Oh, you got it. Let it go.
What, you got something?
A lot of y'all like, let me know you got it out.
The book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse 7. Be not deceived.
He said, be not deceived. Meaning, don't be deceived, read.
The Most High
The Most High, the true and the living power, read,
is not mocked.
is not mocked. So therefore, you cannot mock the Most High. Read on.
For whatsoever a man soweth,
It said, whatever what?
whatsoever a man soweth,
So whatever a man soweth, read,
that shall he also reap.
that shall he also reap. Meaning you Old Testament lovers, read. You know that.
For he that soweth to his flesh
For he that soweth to his flesh, read.
shall of the flesh reap corruption.
So you shall reap what? Corruption. Because you're corrupting a lot of people. You say the Messiah never existed. You say the New Testament is a hoax. The New Testament is all lies. Okay, read.
But he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting.
Read on.
And let us not be weary.
Okay. You understand? Because it's a lot of hate going on here. From year to year. A lot of people that's into the Bible, they're in half the Bible now.
Verse 9.
Read.
And let us not be weary in well-doing,
And let us not be weary of well-doing, read.
for in due season
For in due season, read.
we shall reap, if we faint not.
Read on.
As we have therefore opportunity, let us do good unto all men.
It said, let us do what?
Let us do good
It said, let us do good. I mean, to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, read.
unto all men,
Unto all men, read.
especially unto them who are of the household of faith.
Read on.
Ye see how large a letter I have written unto you with mine own hand.
Read on.
As many as desire to make a fair show in the flesh, they constrain you to be circumcised.
Right.
Only lest they should suffer persecution for the cross of Hamashiach.
Right. So therefore, we're going to suffer because of what we're going through. You understand? All these lies are coming out. You understand? All these lies are coming out against the Messiah. You understand? And this is why this word got to be brought out. I know that you Old Testament, right? You Old Testament lovers, y'all don't go out and teach. Why is that? But y'all criticizes all day long about the Messiah this, the Messiah that, the New Testament is no good, it's washed up, it never existed. We notice you say all that. I would like to know where your camp is at.
Right.
What state? Where is that? Boston?
Yeah.
New York? LA? Detroit? Utah? Golden State? Where you guys teach at? I'm talking about you Old Testament lovers now. That's what I'm talking about. I notice you don't teach. All you do is make mockery. And I don't think is that the law to make mockery? No, right? Okay. Let me know if that's the law to make mockery. Anybody can get at me, whether right here or either on Facebook. Either one is fine with me. I'm ready.
Isaiah chapter 53. Who has believed our report, and to whom is the arm of the Lord revealed? For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, and as a root out of a dry ground. He hath no form, nor no comeliness, and when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him. He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows, and acquainted with grief, and we hid as it were our faces from him. He was despised, and we esteemed him not. Surely he hath borne our griefs and carried our sorrows, yet we did esteem him stricken. Surely he hath borne our griefs and carried our sorrows, yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of God and afflicted. But he was wounded for our transgression.
So he was wounded for our transgression. Now, why was he wounded though? Because why? He was dealing with hard egos, like your Old Testament lovers. He was dealing with people like you. You understand? He was fighting for us. He was fighting for the people that believed in him, that said that he's the king. And he's the king of what? The Jews. And he's the king of the Israelites. Well, a lot of people didn't want to hear that at that time. They was always against the Messiah. Always. This is where the Old Testament lovers, this is where it come from.
Right,
you understand?
Right.
That's what it's going into. Because y'all be taking shots all the time. All the time. I see it all on Facebook. Y'all be taking all the shots. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to figure where y'all teach at. That's what I want to know. Where you got teach at? Yeah. Well, Michael Jackson, yeah. I would like to know where you guys teach at. Where you Old Testament lovers, where you teach at. That's what I want to know. Hit me in the inbox. Hit me in the Facebook, in my inbox. Or wherever, it don't matter. Yeah, Rick. Hold on.
He was bruised for our iniquities.
He was bruised for our iniquity.
Bring it out.
Meaning he died for our sins, right?
The chastisement of our peace was upon him.
Read.
And with his stripes we are healed.
And stripes we are healed. Because why? Now we have a chance to repent. You understand? Because why? He died for our sins. He was the sacrifice. Okay, read.
All we like sheep have gone astray.
Read.
We have turned everyone to his own way.
You know?
And the Lord hath laid on him the iniquity of us all.
Read.
He was oppressed.
He was oppressed. So guess what? The Messiah, he was oppressed because of guys like you. Because guys like you, Old Testament lovers.
Right.
You were oppressing him. You was getting on his nerves. That's why he had a head full of gray hair. And he was drinking wine. He said, damn, these niggas get on my nerve and drinking wine. I think I was the same thing. Because you guys Y'all just be going in. I mean, y'all don't have no pity, no respect whatsoever. I mean, really. I mean, a lot of you out of hand. You had this one sister over there that looked like, I ain't gonna make fun of her. She came on there and said, like, I mean, she got no respect. No respect for the word. And that's off as hell. And then you got a guy, he's always taking shots at the New Testament. He's always going at JC. Jesus Christ, he looked like one of the brothers that used to be down with GMS. Haitian priest. He looked like him. It might be him, I don't know. Yeah, read.
He was oppressed and he was afflicted.
He was oppressed and he was afflicted. He was going through a lot, man. He had his own people was against him. That's your Old Testament. That's you right there. You Old Testament lovers. You were against what? The Messiah. You were against him. You constantly got on his nerves.
Right.
It's like the way you get on our nerves. Same thing. Yeah, read.
Yet he opened not his mouth.
And he opened not his mouth, read.
And is brought as a lamb to the slaughter.
And he was brought as the lamb to the slaughter. Guess what? When he was bringing out to be killed, he didn't open his mouth. He took it like a champ. He stayed quiet and he just ended up just getting killed and that's it.
Right.
Because of people like you, the Old Testament lovers. Yeah, read.
And as a sheep before his shearers
And a sheep before his shearers, read.
is dumb, so he opened not his mouth.
So he opened not his mouth. He didn't say anything while he was getting killed. Because he had to fulfill prophecy. He had to be killed. Because he had to be the sacrifice for our sins. So therefore, when we come in the earth, or therefore when some of us was just being born, we could grow up and learn about it and also keep the laws, that's the commandments, and repent. So therefore, when he make his second return, we could be in the kingdom of heaven with the Messiah. But you Old Testament lovers don't want that. I think you just like to make fun of the Messiah and talk about JC every minute. This JC you talk about them, maybe you talk about the rapper JC, I don't know. Maybe you talk about him. Well, you definitely ain't talking about the Messiah. Can't read?
He was taken from prison.
He was taken from what?
He was taken from prison.
So he was taken from prison. Remember, he was in the prison. He was taken from prison, read?
And from judgment.
And from judgment, so therefore he was being judged, read?
And who shall declare his generation?
And who shall declare his generation, read?
For he was cut off out of the land of the living.
So therefore he was cut out of the land of the living. Meaning they killed him and then he went back to the Messiah. I mean, he went back to the Most High. Read?
For the transgression of my people.
For the transgression of what?
Of my people.
The transgression of my people. That fits perfect with you Old Testament lovers. Read?
Was he stricken?
Was he stricken, read?
And he made his grave with the wicked and with the rich in his death, because he had done no violence.
Because remember, the Messiah had done no violence. All he did when he came on the earth was came and teach. He was able to teach and teach and teach. Teach and heal people. He was teaching people and he was healing people. That's what he was doing when he was on the earth. So he did good works when he was on the earth. That's what he did. But your Old Testament lovers, you don't give them no credit. And what is that? What book that is? No, what book that is? Old Testament. No, what book? Name of the book.
Oh, Isaiah.
And that's Isaiah chapter what?
53.
That's Isaiah chapter 53 in the Old Testament for your Old Testament lovers. Okay, read.
Because he had neither was any deceit in his mouth.
Therefore, there was no deceit in the Messiah's mouth. Who you call JC. Okay, read.
Yet the Lord to bruise him.
So yet it pleased